Donald Trump went to France, and he, while there, celebrating, by the way, an occasion, the 100th anniversary of the United States entering World War I, at that time, the Great War. And as is sort of customary for these kinds of commemorations, there was a big military spectacle and parade there in France. Well, Donald Trump was so taken with it that he decided and said today to Macron when meeting with the French leader that he wants to do one of those himself. And this is, this typical Trump, right? He thought this was great. It looked great. It's consistent. We'll discuss this in a moment with things that Donald Trump has said in the past. But here is what, if we could put the graphic up here, this is what Donald Trump said about this. It was really so well done, but I came back and one of my early calls were, I think we're gonna have to start looking at that ourselves. So we're actually thinking about 4th of July, Pennsylvania Avenue, having a really great parade to show our military strength. And of course, the first thing I thought of is, July 4th weekend, he's going to be at the White House? No. Right? He's going to be in Bedminster, he'll be out of town, he'll be in the Hamptons, he'll be someplace else. But what this speaks to, and this is consistent, this whole idea, where do people hear these things and see these things, right? I mean, you see it in black and white films from, I mean, this is of course the great celebration in France, but you see them in black and white films on the History Channel of people marching up the Champs-Élysées, people, what I mean by people, Nazis, marching up the Champs-Élysées to the Arc de Triomphe when they took Paris. You see these sorts of commemorations in middle 20th century Europe. And Donald Trump sees this, is excited about this, and wants to go ahead and do it. As a matter of fact, he, for his inauguration, asked, and this is a commemoration of the 100th anniversary of World War I and our entering it, something totally worth commemorating perhaps, right? When Trump sees this sort of thing, and he wanted to do this at his inauguration. He asked the military, he got a 20-plane flyover. He loves this stuff, but it shows these are the strains of an authoritarian. This is not just, oh, this is America proud. This is scary stuff, the kind of stuff that an authoritarian wants.
And also, if anyone in our audience doesn't buy into the authoritarian angle, which I think is a really great point, also keep in mind that Trump argued that it makes sense to ban transgender military members because they're too costly. Obviously, studies have already indicated that is not the case. Taking them out of the military and replacing them would be insanely costly. But you have the resources, or you're willing to spend the resources on a military parade, which is completely unnecessary, but you're not willing to help pay for the medical bills of men and women who are willing to serve in the military just because you don't like their gender identity. I mean, just think about that for a second. It's so enraging. And the fact that, I don't know how many of his supporters would want something like this, but those military parades ain't free. That's our taxpayer money going toward something that makes Donald Trump feel good about himself, and that's it.
But this is gold buildings guy. I'm gold buildings guy. I put gold on and in my buildings.
Right.
You think of it as an unnecessary expense. He thinks of it as something that he has to do for branding. This is all a brand initiative for Team Trump.
That's right.
And it's worth it to him because of that. It fits right in with his taste. But it is about, and it's, JR, I mean, come into this. This is Make America Great Again, right? This is the coming home from the war, the 40s. This is the kind of thing that Donald Trump would latch onto, irrespective of price.
So you read the piece of his statement on it, and I want us to also play the full version because it feeds more into what his motivations are, and also bringing up his plan to bring things into the inauguration. When he planned to bring those military vehicles and members into his inauguration, he asked for pictures from the Pentagon or whatever military source he needed to ask. He says, can you guys send me pictures of things I can use? Not with any kind of flow to it or reason behind it outside of what's gonna look good at my inauguration. That's military, it's a military slant to it to show my power. So I don't know if we have this video ready to go.
We do, yeah. This is Macron and Trump.
And pay attention to his full reasons for why he's saying it after seeing what France did.
I was your guest at Bastille Day, and it was one of the greatest parades I've ever seen. It was 2 hours on the button, and it was military might, and I think a tremendous thing for France and for the spirit of France. And people don't know what great warriors they are in France. But when you see that and you see all the victories, it was a tremendous thing. And to a large extent, because of what I witnessed, we may do something like that on July 4th in Washington, down Pennsylvania. I don't know. We're going to have to try and top it. But we had a lot of planes going over. We had a lot of military might. And it was really a beautiful thing to see. I came back, and one of my early calls were, I think we're going to have to start looking at that ourselves. So we're actually thinking about 4th of July, Pennsylvania Avenue, having a really great parade to show our military strength.
One of my first calls when I got back was to plan a parade.
And show our military. And so again, he was shut down for the inauguration thing. So he's like, here's the way I can still do it and make it seem like it's for everyone else but me, to show our military strength, our might. What does that have to do with your inauguration, number one? Our military strength to who? Who's infiltrating your inauguration for this show of power? It's all about showing power. And France did it. I was so impressed because I'm a 10-year-old at a parade. And I got giddy. I was like, oh my God, I can do this too.
Right.
And after doing it, after wanting to do it, I have to do it better than you.
Yeah.
It's
the arrogance to do it on July 4th in the middle of impeachment hearings.
What? I love parades though. Honestly, I love them. Have you ever been to a football, I guess not a basketball game because those are indoors, but a football game where there's a flyover?
Yeah, that's cool.
I think it's super cool. And that's what I thought was awesome about when he asked on his inauguration. It was like, can I have tanks? And they were like, no, those will tear up the streets. When a lot of tanks actually disperse the pressure a lot more than cars do, so it is less of a footprint on the actual street. They're
Can't we just get him like a G.I. Joe kit?
but then,
and just like have him
a CGI, just show him a scene from a movie.
Exactly. He'll be, that was fantastic.
But you know they were like, listen, we know what you want. We know what this idiot wants. We'll give him a couple planes. We'll do a flyover. He'll be happy.
That's true, and that's how you feel they appease him constantly,
yes,
right?
That's exactly
just
the
these
point.
People just to give him a little bit, and
like
he'll run with it. Can you imagine? U.S. presidents are allowed and required to plan their own funerals. So part of what they do is they sit down very early in their presidency, and they can amend it at any time to plan their state funerals. But every president does it. Can you imagine what his plan is entailed?
I mean, that is, the amount of money that's going to go into that funeral. I mean, it'll be
the flyovers and the military and the might and the everything.
And if you're at the funeral, you have to cry and fall over his casket. But does that sound like someone else?
All these things sound exactly like that.
Yeah.
All the images that are summoned are the images that you associate with dictatorial regimes where people on pain of death are forced to, oh my God, like freakishly flail about in the streets.
No, it's unbelievable. Well, so I thought of that when I heard this story. It's got to stop, man. It's got to stop.
Help us build independent media together. Come join us, tytnetwork.com/join.